I worked at a hospital, and one night changed my life forever. I never believed in the paranormal. No ghosts, no signs, no stories about walls remembering anything. A hospital was just a job to me. Sterile hallways, the smell of antiseptic, night shifts that seemed to last forever. Until that night, I got hired as an orderly at a large city hospital right after the army. The job was hard, but stable. Night shifts paid more, so I took them whenever I could. At night, the hospital felt frozen in time. Fewer patients, less noise, less chaos. Only the distant footsteps of nurses and the soft beeping of machines. The building I worked in was old, built in the 1950s. Thick walls, high ceilings, endless corridors. There was the main medical ward and an old wing, officially closed. But when there were no beds left, they still sent critical patients there. The senior staff never liked talking about that wing. They just said, "Don't go there unless you have to." I thought it was superstition, until one night proved otherwise. That shift, there were only 3 of us. Me, the night nurse, Emily, and a resident doctor. Around 2 a.m, an ambulance brought in a man in his early 60s, stroke, critical condition, no available rooms. The doctor ordered us to place him temporarily in the old wing. Room 417. I remember pushing the gurney down the empty hallway. The lights were dim, flickering, like they didn't want to stay awake either. The air felt colder there, noticeably colder. When we rolled into the room, the man suddenly opened his eyes. He stared straight at me. His eyes were clear and full of terror. "Please, don't leave me here," he whispered. "It's already occupied." I assumed it was stroke-induced delirium. I reassured him, transferred him to the bed, and left. The door closed behind me with a heavy, final sound, like a period at the end of a sentence. Half an hour later, I came back to check on him. The room was empty. The bed was perfectly made. The monitors were off. No patient. No signs of movement. I thought they'd moved him. Forgot to tell me. I went back to the nurse's station, asked Emily. She turned pale. "Are you sure it was room 417? "Absolutely." She was quiet for a long moment, then said softly, "No one's been placed in that room for 10 years. A nurse died there. Night shift. Found in the morning. Heart failure. But people say she never left." I laughed. Too loud, too fast, but something inside me tightened. We decided to check together. When we reached the room, the door was slightly open. The light was on. The man was back in the bed, staring at the ceiling, whispering, "She's here. She's counting steps." Then we heard footsteps behind us, slow, precise. 1, 2, 3. Emily grabbed my hand. The steps stopped right at the door. The air grew heavy, like a concrete slab pressed against my chest. The lights flickered and went out. When the emergency lighting came on, the room was empty again. In the morning, the admission log showed a stroke patient. His name was crossed out in red ink. No explanation. A week later, I quit. No notice, no explanations. I just left. Sometimes I dream of that hallway, the dim lights, and the footsteps counting the distance between me and the door. Since then, I know this for sure. Hospitals don't just hold stories, they continue them, and not everyone leaves alive.